Car, I think, going very slow indeed. The West Painter Royal Indian car. The breakdancer racing GP Motorsport looking very, very tired as he went across the line that time. And here is that car at the moment. It's currently 19th position. So I was saying the SuperCup back out on Thursday. I suspect they'll just use the remaining laps as a bit of a practice. Yeah, just to check that everything that they've done has worked out the plan. With a turbo issue. So Chris Murphy trying to hang on there. This time slip a little bit. Griffin just getting a whisker.
Scholarship like this, if I'd have had the opportunity, I would have been so over the moon. And you know, these lads and the girls are so humble, and they really
have such a spread of varying different experiences, so much potential and so much talent.
I've been a part of a number of scholarships over the years, and this has just been head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah, no probs.
It's because of the fact we've had these issues that have been effectively out of our hands, I'm afraid. So we are looking at the last few moments. Then in the top 5 we have James Alford in the Pro C class, leading Audi TT in 5th position. Other class leaders we have Martin Gadsby and Ian Jones BMW has dropped down to 7th place. I think it's made an extra unnecessary stop as well, which has dropped it down to 7th place, but still leading Pro B at this point. Number 73, which is on screen, which is the more on ball Audi TT, but we are seeing the number 19 Alessandro Ballesteros Audi TT, which is in the lead of Club A. Club B at the moment is the Nagel and Greenway BMW Compact in car number 192. That had an earlier drive-through penalty, but still leads the class. And in Pro C, in Club C, up in 14th overall, an excellent run so far for the defending champions Adam Reed and David Drinkwater in their BMW Compact as well. Unfortunately, because the race has been giving us so many technical problems with our stream, which have been effectively out of our control, I know, Alex, you've been following the race effectively, what's been going on in the background whilst I've been running around trying to help fix the stream. But just give us a rundown of what you've seen so far throughout the race, just to give us an idea to get up to speed of what's happened in this race as we close into the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the comeback from the 167 of Lynch, William Lynch, you know, had a spin, then came in for an early pit stop. And has come storming through the field as we would expect in a Pro A class car, all the way up to 4th position. You also had dramas for the VRS performance.
Really off the pace. He's 42 laps off, so it looks like he had some kind of problem which has kept him out of contention, and he's now just talking to one of his mechanics towards the end. There's our timing graphics on the end. Again, we only got 4 minutes to go, so we're trying to keep as much as we can for the race that we've had. Again, sincere apologies for the out of our hands technical issues that have forced us to miss the majority of this race, but we'll give you as much as we can in the last few minutes. And Dave Griffin looks as though he's possibly on his way to a Pro A victory. As we see here, the Huggins Lotus Elise mixing it with Bruce Robinson, and also our defending champions, Reed and Drinkwater in the BMW. We've also got possibly a battle going on, at least on track, between the 721 Chris Murphy BMW and the Evans, Hudson and Parks number 104 Pro A BMW. So they make their way out of the final couple of hairpins on the GP loop. There's the Club C leader, doing a fine job up in 14th overall. And that's what I find which is great with SuperSport, and a little bit too close for comfort, closer than I think it should have been necessary.
Yeah, I think that Lotus Elise was a little bit sort of tail happy, but it's great to see in the PBS Brakes SuperSport Endurance Cup. You know, you've got everything and anything. You know, so you've got the E46, the E90 M3s, you've got the M2s, you've got the Audi TTs, Honda Civic Type R, Mazda MX-5 Mark III. You know, even got celebrity chef, well, world-renowned and celebrity chef Tom Kerridge on the grid in the number 35 Renault Clio Cup endurance car, as Lindsay comes out of the pits after, well, Andrew Lindsay is going rather slow going through the Craner curve. So I think that Audi TT is probably going to just try and get it back to the pits. I mean, we've got 2 minutes until the checkered flag here, Scott, and it has been a pretty interesting one, but you know, Dave Griffin in the number 34 E90 put it on the outside of the front row and has led pretty much from lap 22 onwards on the field so far.
Certainly has, and with a minute and a half to go, it looks as though that Dave is going to wrap up an excellent victory nonetheless. There's the Huggins and Huggins Lotus Elise, which continues on possibly a bit further down the field than they would have liked if I find the timing screen. Huggins and Huggins, yeah, second in Pro C at the moment, so they're on course for an actual podium. But here comes Dave Griffin then, making his way down towards the S's for the GP loop for the penultimate time. He'll turn left and then right and then head his way down towards, first of all, the Melbourne loop. Here's the on-track battle going on between two of the class at the Pro A BMWs. That's Chris Murphy's 721 in Pro C, so that's a late pit stop drama for the Pro C leader. So James Alford, who was 5th overall, has just made a pit stop. It's an unscheduled stop, I believe, for James Alford, so that means that he might potentially lose, well, I don't think he'll lose the Pro C lead because the next car in Pro C is the Huggins and Huggins Lotus, and that's 13 laps back. So if it's a temporary issue and he can get back out and take the checkered flag, that will certainly help him if he can make that stick. So we'll wait and see how Ricky Coombe on the Civic, that's had its own dramas, 40 laps down, and he completed 26. Now James has got back out on circuit, but it's not looking like a very healthy Audi TT. He's touring around, so all he really needs to do is there's contact. That was one of the Clio's Cup Endurance cars with Ricky Coombe in the 999 Honda Civic. Round he goes. Now that, I think, was a bit of lappery going on. That wasn't for position because the Clio that was in the middle getting trouble to refire it. Engines when they're hot are very difficult to restart. So if he can't get it going, I mean, the race probably might not finish under a red. It might finish under yellows at least down at the hairpin. That was a bit of slightly tricky contact. No trickiness for this man because Dave Griffin will come out as they come across the line. The Chris Murphy BMW will pick up second place. It'll be third North Down and Kent. Fourth will go to William Lynch. And I think if James Alford can get himself around, that should now be victory for James Alford in the Audi TT. So James in the Audi TT will pick up Pro C honours. Apologies if you've lost our cameras for a second. Again, we're still trying to pick through maybe one or two technical troubles that we're trying to figure out and work our way through. It will be a Club A victory for Ballesteros. He hasn't come across the line just yet. Alford hasn't crossed the line either, but he might be just touring around on the last lap to get through. Other class leaders, Club C has been won by David Drinkwater and Adam Reed, so that is a victory for Drinkwater and Reed in the BMW. And they will take another class win, which they'll certainly will have happily deserved. It is then the Club B victory for Nagel and Greenway. So we'll go through some of the final results here, just whilst we're, I think, trying to get our cameras back for a moment, if you can still hear me. So Dave Griffin then, victory in the fourth round of the PBS Brakes SuperSport Endurance Cup. He wins by 29.3 seconds from Chris Murphy in the BMW in second place. Third goes to Peter Millsdale and Stephen Kent and their BMW M2. The William Lynch BMW is 4th. Then it's the Evans, Hudson and Parks BMW in 5th. And then to round out the top 6, thankfully we have our cameras back. Vicky Coomber Honda Civic, but they finished 13th. Drinkwater and Reed are 14th overall, and they win Club C, the defending overall and class champions. Then you have Glen and Harrity in the second of those Glyn Sport cars. That was the invitation car in 15th. Curtis Steele and Air in the Breakdancer Racing MX-5 Mark 1 is 16th, but it's Nagel and Greenway in 17th, who are also the Club B winners, so congratulations to them. Payne, Cresswell and Herndon, they are 18th in the Mazda RX-8. They had some problems, I think, earlier on that I saw midway, so when I was seeing the track, I was trying to fix the technical issues we had. Huggins and Huggins, 19th. The Radstock, who pitted as well. And then we had Collins in the Caterham, who stopped on circuit somewhere. Severs and Severs, who had their issues too and dropped back to 22nd. Coomber in 23rd and Edwards in 24th. And also we had Astor Lindsay, who took the flag, but he was way down the order in 25th. So there are the results from today's PBS Brake SuperSport Endurance Cup. Again, please accept our sincere apologies for the kind of unforeseen and out of our hands technical issues that we had, but we are able to give you the finish of the race and at least some track action for that race too. And there are the results as they scroll through. So reminders, your class winners as follows in order of finishing order. Your Pro A class winner, Dave Griffin in the BMW E90 M3. Pro B class winner is going to be Gadsby and Jones in their BMW. Pro C winner, James Alford, who limped around in the Audi TT. Club A winner is Alessandro Ballesteros in his Audi TT. Club B winners are Nagel and Greenway in a BMW Compact, and then also in a BMW Compact in Club C was Drinkwater and Reed in that car. The next time that you will see, in any case, the PBS Brakes SuperSport Endurance Cup for 2025 will be on track. If I bring the calendar up, it will be Croft, so they'll be out on the 12th and 13th of July. So hopefully, once we've got some ability to potentially, if we can, throw down to Alex Goldschmidt in the pit lane to have a chat to some of our class winners who hopefully will have been pulled in. Either they've been pulled in or they'll be able to bring them round from Park Ferme so they can have a chat to Alex down there. We're getting set for our next race of the day, which is going to be coming up next. First of the day for the Nankang Tyre BMW SuperCup Championship. First time they've been, it's not the first time they've been on stream today because they have been on stream. So getting ready for hopefully to have a chat to our class winners in the PBS Brakes SuperSport Endurance Cup. And if that's the case, hopefully we'll be able to see them. Now, whilst we're waiting for that, let's do some build up to our first race of the day for the Nankang Tyre BMW Super Cup. I'll get the signal if and when we can throw to our SuperSport podium class winners down. There's a bit of a change for this weekend for the BMW Super Cup. There was a bit of a change in terms of how they line up on the grid from this weekend onwards. Before this, we had a combined grid, so all the BMWs, 1 Series and Clapham Cup were all grouped together based on where they qualified overall. But a change now for this round onwards, I think, to kind of mean that we get 2 separate races in one and one class doesn't bother the other. So what happens simply is the 1 Series Super Cup cars will start at the beginning of the all the 1 Series will start at the beginning at the front of the field. Then there'll be a rows gap, and then we'll have all the compact cup cars lined up in their order they qualified in class behind them on the grid. The 1 Series Super Cup cars will go off first. They will have a 10. They'll go off from their race based by the lights. Then there'll be a 10-second delay, and then started by the flag, the compact cup cars will then go after that gap. That means we have both the 1 Series and the compact cup cars battling their own separate races, without getting basically in the way of each other and kind of not compromising each other's races potentially if there's one tripping over the other. So that should hopefully work a little better than that should hopefully work for the drivers in terms of what they were looking for. In terms of going into this weekend in the championship, of course, remember it's 2 separate classes, the 1 Series and the BMW Compact Cup this year, after the 1 Series Super Cup, the new car, and what was the pre-existing BMW Compact Cup have both merged together. In the championship standings, it is going to be, at the moment, in the 1 Series Super Cup class after 2 rounds at Snetterton and Alton Park. Millie Hart, who leads the way in her first full season of car racing. She is 17 points ahead of Aidan Hassan in 2nd place. Danny Wilkinson, who had 3 victories so far this season, would have been up there a little higher had he not retired from race 2. He had a shunt in the first start of race 2 that put him out for the rest of the day. It means he slips to 3rd. Simon Waterfall is one to watch. He picked up a he picked up a best result ever in BMW Super Cup, second at Alton Park. So hopefully he can pick up a good, strong finish and get himself on up further from fourth. Also, you've got Christopher Stretton and Torben Aston. Now, Torben, for reasons of a technical matter, raced as a guest at Snetterton, but he managed to pick up a second and a win at Alton Park to fully get himself on the board. And that means that he's on the back foot a little bit in terms of scoring, but he will try and push forwards as best as he can. So the BMWs are about to head off onto their formation lap to get things underway. And as the cars head off to what should be a interesting first race for them today, we'll give you the grid for them as they've lined up from qualifying this morning. So on pole position, right at the front of the grid in the 1 Series Super Cup class is Torben Aston, car number 91. He's lost alongside a really good effort from Simon Waterfall, who was, I think, struggling a bit in the assembly area with his car, but managed to get it going and was finally able to get a good lap in. Here's the grid on screen. So it is Aston and Waterfall in the front row. Millie Hart and Martin Tolley, we haven't seen enough of him already, of course, in Mazda MX-5s, makes his BMW debut in fourth. He's running as a guest, I believe. And then it's going to be the rest of the field on row 3, which is Aidan Hassan and Christopher Stratton on the third row of the grid. Then we have a 10-second gap, brother. That is on the third row of the grid. Keith Towers, who's returning full-time this season, alongside Ethan Woods in the 777. Then it's Rod Langham and Xavier Ross, followed by Daniel Mountford and Aaron Tipler, and Tim Seaford and Martin Corkwell in the... for that one, that would be... that's 7th row of the grid. So we have 14 compact cup cars and 6 of the 1 Series. So the 1 Series effectively is built basically with a kit of parts. It's very similar to what you'd find with the Audi TT Cup with the Championship. If you look at the spec of the car, the generation of cars that you find with these cars, with the Compact Cup, it's the E36 generation Compact 318 Ti. They run a 1900cc BMW M4 4B19 engine. They have a hybrid tune ECU remap, which kind of puts the champion over all the cars have to use. They run Gaz Gold Compact Cup adjustable coilovers, IBAC rear control springs, Powerflex bushes kit. They also run Nankang N2 SR tyres as well. Brakes standard, transmission is standard as well. Minimum weight 1150 kilos. The 1 Series Super Cup cars, you can use a BMW F20 or F21 generation 3 or 5 door model year 2011 to 2015. Runs the BMW M13 1.6 litre 16 valve turbo, and of course runs with a coilover kit, standard transmission, standard brakes, also on NS2R tyres, and also has an SW Motorsport built-in multi-point, a bolt-in multi-point rollover protection system too. As I say, the BMW Super Cup cars are pretty much kind of, in some ways, in terms of how they're put together, kind of like the rear-wheel drive equivalent of what we see with the Audi TTs. In fact, a lot of the parts that you find in the Audi TTs are crossover that can be almost in the same kit for the BMW 1 Series Super Cup. And of course, they launched a couple of years ago. They've been steadily building momentum, more and more cars being built out there. You can see a few new builds out this season, of course. And for this season, they're running their first full year as a combined grid with the BMW Compact Cup. So, as they form up onto the grid here for a second, Alex has run back up because I think he unfortunately missed the SuperSport car. They drove straight past him, sadly. So,
they did, unfortunately. Capable cars. The unpredictability factor is going to throw itself into the woodwork here a little bit, but
to Torben Aston on the sprint down towards Redgate Corner for the first time. Aidan also Millie Hart's in their mix as well. I can hear in the background, here comes the cavalry because the Compact Cup cars have been started 10 seconds later. As already at the front, Millie Hart's off the road. Looks like it might be in a scuffle with Aidan Hassan, who's a little bit further back. But as the 1 Series Super Cup cars cascade their way down through the first few corners of the Craner curves, is Waterfall leads the way, but he's got a flapping front splitter. That might be a bit of a pain for the next 15 minutes. Fast in second, then it's Martin Tolley in third, Hassan fourth, and Millie Hart in fifth. No Chris Stretton I can see, which is a shame. For the compacts down through the Craner curves, it's Conor Grady to the front already. Gareth Plains in second place. Joe Doble, the pole sitter, down to fourth. Not quite sure what happened off the start, but a cracking getaway for the pole. So having a look up the inside there, that might well come off. For the lead in the 1 Series, down towards the S as they go, and Torben Aston stands on the anchors right down the inside, and looks though he's possibly taken the lead initially. Well, possibly wonder if Waterfall might get a better run off the corner and run down towards the hairpin. Back with the compacts, here comes Claydon looking to the outside of Conor Grady in towards the S-bend. And also behind for third, that's Max Noble defending from Isaac Doble. Adam Wright's in the mix there too. And Aston has held on to the 1 Series lead, so he's now just ahead of Waterfall. Martin Tolley is also chasing after them in 3rd place. I do also notice as well, Alex, if you have a look, it's getting distinctly darker out there. I can see darker clouds, and it has a feel about it's going to possibly, dare I say, rain again as it did yesterday.
I'm awaiting a sprinkle or two, probably, Scott, to be completely honest with you. But at the moment, I mean, Millie Hart has been, after the opening 2 rounds at Snetterton 300 and Alton International, she leads by about 17 points from Aidan Hassan, but at the moment she's currently down in P5. Danny Wilkinson had 3 wins on the bounce at Snetterton 300. And Millie actually took race 1 at Alton Park, but it was Thorben Aston who is leading at the moment, and the number 91 that took the 2nd win at Alton. So it's going to be quite interesting from that aspect. But when you throw a little sprinkling of rain with front-engined, rear-wheel drive BMWs, expect traction to be at a premium, but at the moment it does not look that, it might look a bit foreboding in the background, folks, but we have not seen any rain yet, so that is a good thing. But nevertheless, I did see one of the BMW compact 318 Ti E36 cars having a little bit of loose bodywork on the left rear coming through the old hairpin, but at the meantime Thorben Aston leading Simon Waterfall in the number 24 by about 3/10 after the opening lap of this race, as they're very shortly going to be coming across the stripe to complete lap number 2. But a bit of a disaster for Millie Hart in the number 29, who, as I said earlier on, leads on 239 points. Then it's Aidan Hassan for the BPC Motorsport crew in the number 64. He's been quite consistent across the board as the Compact Cup field heads through into the Fogarty S's, and it's getting a bit fruity at the front end of the field because Waterfall is all over the back of Aston like a bad rash.
Certainly is, and trying to push hard. This is actually, I mean it in a positive way, the most competitive I've seen Simon Waterfall in racing in anything. I don't mean that as a derogatory term. He's genuinely come on really well in these BMWs, keeping pace with someone like...
Fortunate Gremlin has reared its ugly head there for the number 64, so that is a real shame for him. That's going to not help his points tally here in the BMW Super Cup Championship. A big thank you again to Nankang Tyre, who have also back this weekend here at Donington Park. But the Compact Cup is really, really heating up as they go through into for the turbocharger, and Aidan Hassan has got a very, very frustrating wait behind the wheel, and I don't think that car might be coming out anytime soon. Meantime, Gareth Claydon nearly has a stumble going through the first part.
On her own in 4th place at the moment. I think because Martin Toy is a guest that Millie Hart will still get points for 3rd place, because guests do not score points, but you'll still get a trophy for 3rd place anyway. So Simon Waterfall keeping pace with Thorben Aston. Lap time wise, it was a personal best for... No, that was the last time they came across the line. It's he was about a 10th quicker that last time, and keeping the pressure on in the Bromley Motorsport BMW 1 Series, just behind Thorben Aston, which I think, if I'm right, I think that possibly started out as one of the original development cars for 1 Series. At least it's a car that's been used, obviously developed up to current specification. Where they're throwing these BMWs through the Crane curve, see the cars bouncing around their suspension. A little wide off the apex there for Aston, didn't quite get the clip of the corner and actually get himself through. Back with the compacts, this is Adam Wright going down the outside of Mike Doble Senior, of course the father of Mikey. A bit of bodywork treading on the rear end as he goes out of Redgate corner. It shouldn't be too much bother, I don't think. If Adam gets too close, he might help out. So Gareth Claydon then back to the front of a BMW Compact Cup race for quite a while, in fact, actually, I think, if I'm correct, because he hasn't he's had some rough times last year. But looking at how he's done so far this season, hasn't won a race so far, and again, both he himself and Conor Grady retired results in this championship. So that means they will go back up the table by the time they get towards the end. So what's going to be crucial here, particularly with Joe Doble on their tail, is just scoring as many points as they can. Being first and second right now, that's the prime position.
Yeah, this is going to be quite crucial as we hit half-time in this opening race of the Nankang Tyre BMW Super Cup Championship, combined with the BMW Compact Cup. And again, it is really, really close between Simon Waterfall in second and Thorben Aston. I mean, I think in some respects, Waterfall's front splitter, which you noticed was hanging a little bit lower than it should have been, flapping about a bit. That's going to help. That's going to hinder aerodynamic downforce on the front of the car. But also, one of the things that I've just seen as Simon Waterfall turned right into Redgate, there was a lot of smoke coming from the left rear, so I'm not too sure if there's something else that might be amiss, possibly with the left rear of the number 24 BMW. Meantime, it's a 3-horse race at the front end of the Compact Cup with Claydon, Grady, and then also Joe Doble in the number 11 car. He is closing in on Conor Grady. He's about half a car length behind, going down the Craner curves and then heading into the old hairpin. So with 6 minutes and 20 still to go in this opening race for the BMW Super Cup and the Compact Cup, things are really, really heating up. But I'm just a bit
Compact Cup class, in fact, he continues on. The headlights with the same kind of white and grey stripes in there. It's a bit of a wraparound to help out. He's pulling away from Tim Seaford. Back to our 1 Series leaders, who have got quite a gap of some nearly 14 seconds because we have to wait, and continue waiting. And there, in fact, is Millie Hart. In fact, Millie Hart's caught Martin Tolley. So that's a bit of a change. Look at last lap times. The gap across the line was 5.1 seconds, and Millie was, what, a second quicker. So either Martin Tolley has an issue that's causing him to slow up a little bit, and considering the car's not seeing the gap that's being created right now, and yet there's either further evidence. Martin Tolley does have an issue, and he's pulled up right on the pit exit road. Now, I don't want to tempt fate, but that's 4.25 minutes, 3/4 minutes to go. In a position like that, potentially, does that maybe warrant a late safety car unless they can cover that with yellows quickly and push it backwards against the wall or somewhere closer into the pit lane, I wonder. For the compacts, Gareth Claydon still leads and is now leaving both Conor Grady and Joe Doble, who went at it for pretty much most of last year's championship and saw Conor come out on top. But these two going back and forth with each other for second place over in the Compact Cup class. They wind their way back up towards Schwanz curve and then back towards McLean's now. They've completed 5 laps. They're on lap 6. And Joe Doble just keeping the pressure up here as they come up towards Coppice on another lap. I wonder if he's just biding his time here to have a look, because you know he might be running out a little bit of time, but he's also possibly quite keen. I'm certain he's quite keen to ensure that Gareth Claydon doesn't get away too quickly, because if he does, that might see his chances of victory go completely. There's the marshals, our ever hard-working marshals, quickly pushing Martin Tolley's car back to safety behind the pit exit line, which means that we shouldn't need any more yellow flags using a safety car. We should hopefully go green for the remainder of the race. And our leaders come across the line still separated by less than a second with 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's been rather, 6/10 thereof. And it was a 1:54.057 for Simon Waterfall. Torben Astin a 1:53.8. So the 91 has got the advantage. But yeah, I mean, when we saw the number 13 of Tolley's car pull over, he'd done a 2:05.4, and Millie Hart had done a 1:57.0. And again, I think it's just maybe the wheel arch might the outer part of the wheel arch on Simon Waterfall's car is just fouling the outer edge of the tyre on the left rear. So if it's just a slight rubbing from here and there, and it's happening again through McLaren's, so it's not compromising the run that he's got. And now as they go up the hill into Coppice, once again, Waterfall just having to go a little bit wider. He's taking a tighter line through the second half, cuts the grass through the second half of Coppice. Meantime, the Compact Cup battle. Right. The 23 of Noble has just got a 5-second time penalty for what looks to be track limits there. So that is going to hurt him. So that is not going to help in trying to close in on the two in front. But great work here by the number 46 of Claydon, who is just calmly keeping on with the business at hand. The number 46, Gareth Claydon, as the leaders have crossed the line. And we are going to be on our last lap of this opening race of the Nankang Tyre. BMW's
catch Millie Hart not too far away. They just see Millie go through the shot. But there go the Compact Cup cars onto their last lap of the race. Let's see if Gareth can hold on for his first win in, I think, quite a while, in fact, because, of course, he had a rough year last year. So maybe his first win, potentially, unless I get it wrong, since maybe even 2023 when he won the title.
Yeah, maybe the case there, Scott. I mean, he's definitely showcased the fact that he is more than capable of doing so, as we've got a nice little battle between But down the hill goes some more of the BMW Compact Cup field as they head into the Craner curves and then into the old hairpin for what is more than likely going to be the final time. But at the front end of the field, timer hit 0, and it is going to be the run to the line for our race leaders here, but it is going to be a narrow victory. Out of the final corner, through Goddard's, Thorben Astin wins the opening race of the weekend and finishes just ahead of Simon Waterfall in the Nankang Tyre BMW SuperCup Championship. The lead, or the win at the end of that, was just under a second. So we've got the top 3 now coming through the Melbourne hairpin, and it is going to be a win for the number 46 of Gareth Claydon. He's going to come out through Goddard's. He's going to be ahead of Conor Grady, and it is going to be a run to the line as the number 11 of Joe Doble will pick up 3rd place in the respective class. The number 77, Martin Corkwell, who made his first appearance in the championship back at Alton Park, crosses the line in 16th place. And it's going to be 3-4 battling away for this, I think, for the top 10. It's going to go to the number 42, and that's of Rod Langham. And he is going to finish ahead of the 66 of Keith Towers, who came into this round of the season 4th in the championship. And then it's the 777 Ethan Woods and the 26 of Xavier Ross. We've got the number 22 and 41 still to cross the line at the moment. Aaron Tippler and Tim Seaford. So there should be a couple more. So, yeah, 22 and 41. There we go. There's the number 22 of Aaron Tippler in the former Ross Seaford car. He'll take the line, and then that is going to pretty much wrong with that the Nankang Tyre BMW Compact Cup itself. So Thorben Astin takes the win ahead of Simon Waterfall in the BMW Nankang Tyre BMW SuperCup Championship. Thorben Astin. Millie Hart rounds out the top 3. Unfortunately, retires from Tolly and Hassan, both retired from the race. And then it was Gareth Claydon picking up the win in the Compact Cup ahead of Conor Grady and Joe Doble. And we got Max Doble. Then we got Wright Noble, Langham, Tower. We've got Keith Towers, Ethan Woods, Xavier Ross, Aaron Tippler. And then we've got Seaford and Corkle with Tolly and Hassan, unfortunately, retiring from the race. So, our Nankang Tyre BMW SuperCup Championship cars now are at the end of the pit lane. So, without further ado, Scott Woodwis, down to you in pit lane.
I'm kind of multitasking here for a second because I'm having to pull cars in, things at once here, pulling in cars and taking photos, and also as well, on top of that, having a chat to them, but we'll have a chat in a second. Right, now I can focus on actually talking to people. Now, I'm going to gate crash the conversation that's going on here between Simon and all 3 drivers. Got your 3 together, so I'll try and get you together. Torben, this man wouldn't leave you alone, would he?
No, he wouldn't. Kept catching me up. No, it was right. It was good fun. It was nice to actually have a battle with people and nice clean racing all the way around. So no, it was good. Yeah,
so you both had pretty even pace, so it's nice to see him up there giving you a challenge.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely. It was good fun. It's nice to see you up here now. You got your car sorted. So yeah, all good. So hopefully we can carry it on going forward.
Yeah. We're a little bit short of time, but we'll quickly rattle through. But well done. Congratulations on the victory. Let's get to Simon. Now then, where's this come from? That's like two P2s in a row. What's going on?
Well, it's like buses, isn't it? you wait for one and then two come at once. So, yeah, I think, you know, we've done a lot of work and got the car, you know, sorted a little bit more now. And, yeah, hopefully. I thought I'd got it, you know, at the start, made a great start. But, you know, and, you know, the pace is there definitely in the car now. But, yeah, thanks again to, like, Bromley, the team that are running me, Levitt Business Services, Go Printer and Neaton. And yeah, we'll see what we can do the next one.
We've got to rattle through because we've got 6 cars, but well done. Second place is excellent. Let me go and grab Melly Hunt. I'm doorstepping conversations all the time over here, so I have to quickly jump in. Excuse me, guys, very quickly.
Necessarily that great. It looked good right at the start, and then obviously as we went round the corner, I was the one that ended up on the gravel, and then it was just sort of a fight back to where I needed to be for the rest of the race. So it was nice to get Martin back into third, so podium on the cards, and we know that we've got the pace going forward now for the second race. So.
It's good points as well, because Gushy Fairs ahead of Aiden, who had some problems as well, so it should keep in lead of the class so going to race 2.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens at the end of the weekend, but fingers crossed that it is still me in the lead.
Good job, well done, excellent stuff. So that's our 1 Series top 3. Going to quickly scroll through because